Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Sublime Soiree. I'm Linda, and I'm here with my friend and ministry partner, Sue. And we are really excited this month because we are going to be sharing about some portraits that we're going to be painting on our blog this month. You know, Sue, I was at the Cleveland Museum of Art on Wednesday, and I saw so many beautiful portraits of some really interesting people. People who were notable in history, some who were just prominent in society at the time, or maybe they were an heir of a prominent family. But then there were some other portraits of people that few, if any of us, really know, but the artist knew them. And the artist saw something in them that they wanted to capture, a beauty that was notable.
Those portraits sound so much like the artwork of our Creator. Linda, truth be told, the book of Ephesians makes it clear that God sees us as a work of art.
Yes.
Chapter 2, verse 10 says that we are his workmanship, which can be translated to masterpiece. In our blog series, we're going to be looking at a lot of dinner guests whose the rest of the world might have either discarded or maybe even dismissed. But God, our ultimate host, turned people's expectations upside down and showed how highly he values people who others might ignore.
You and I both happened upon Matthew 5:6 this week on the Bible app. And that verse says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied." And we thought that Amy Seifert, who's an author and a teacher, had some really wonderful insights about that verse. She pointed out that unlike the religious leaders of the day, Jesus, by this verse, was passing out blessings like wedding invitations to the least likely. He was inviting Gentiles and females and sinners and the sick and the unacceptable in society to the kingdom of God if they'd like to accept it.
Yes, Linda, and she went on to say, this includes those who are starving for things to be made right in relationship and from injustices. Hunger is a reminder that we need to be fed. We eat 3 meals a day, and when we do eat, God uses it to remind us that we have need. It's a gift. We'll be following up last week's blog about some seeming misfits at God's table with a blog post from Psalms 23, where we see David in the wilderness, a table in the wilderness as God's provision for the most difficult places. God not only meets our physical needs, but our spiritual needs. He is our provision.
He is. And then we're going to be looking at the wandering son. We see a father's unconditional love and forgiveness in this story. Because even after the son squandered his family's inheritance, running away from the family, the father welcomed him right back home. And he not only welcomed him, he threw a party for him. And friends, that's what God is giving to us, an overflowing abundance of grace and mercy and forgiveness. Do we believe it? Or do we have a scarcity mindset? And then speaking of wandering, I have a personal portrait of a dinner guest to share with you that involves my own invitation to dinner at a time that I least deserved it, but for the grace of God.
How many of you are walking through a difficult circumstance right now? That's where God longs to show us his goodness. I often try to fix my own circumstances, but the truth is, only God can meet those needs. At the end of the month, I will share my story of what I am doing when my chair feels rocked. When things feel hard, I'll share how I am pressing into Jesus and going back to what I know to be true. Friends, Amy Seifert goes on to say, God has given those who are starving for all things to be made right, a standing invitation at his dinner table every day of the week. We hope these stories we share this month will be encouraging to you, but our real hope is that you will see yourselves in one or more of them, and that you will see truth upon truth of how very much the God of the universe loves you.
Yes.
In that spirit, we do pray that your month is sublime and that you live each day free above the fray.
Have a great month,
Thank you.
everybody.